In a single lifetime, China transformed into the world's second-largest economy. Yet this rise was built on a foundation of nearly 100 million lives lost. To understand how a nation dismantled its own society to buy its way to the top of the global order, we have to look at what was actually traded for that seat at the table. The modern Chinese landscape is a testament to incredible scale. This skyline represents trillions in wealth and the state's claim of lifting 800 million people out of extreme poverty. But this wealth has a starting point that predates any modern skyscraper. It begins in 1839 with the collapse of an empire. The superpower we see today is a direct consequence of a century of near-complete annihilation and the extreme measures taken to reverse it. For centuries, the Qing dynasty ruled a third of the world's population. That changed when British opium smuggling led to a series of military defeats and unequal treaties that carved the empire into foreign spheres of influence. By 1911, the imperial mandate was gone. The Republic of China emerged with the promise of a democratic future under the leadership of Sun Yat-sen. That unity lasted only months. The country dissolved into the warlord era, where rival generals tore the provinces apart in a state of constant, fragmented civil war. This internal chaos left China defenseless when Japan invaded during World War II. The resulting conflict brought systematic atrocities against civilians, leaving millions dead and the country's infrastructure in ruins. By 1945, the nation was exhausted and bled dry. Its people were desperate for any authority capable of ending the violence, regardless of the ideology behind it. In 1949, Mao Zedong and the Communist Party declared victory. They promised a new era of stability and the end of foreign interference. However, the state itself would soon launch initiatives that proved more destructive to the population than the wars that preceded them. This chart tracks the fallout of the Great Leap Forward. You can see the state extraction of grain spiking as the government demanded impossible industrial growth, even as actual crop yields were plummeting. Farmers were forced into collective communes and ordered to melt down their essential tools in primitive backyard furnaces. The result was a manufactured famine that claimed to maintain the appearance of progress. The government continued to export grain, while its own citizens were starving to death in the millions. To reclaim control after the failure of the famine years, Mao launched the Cultural Revolution. He mobilized the youth into the Red Guards, turning children against their own teachers and parents to purge any perceived remnant of the old order. After Mao's death, the party shifted its focus under Deng Xiaoping. He abandoned the strict ideological crusades in favor of rapid economic modernization. By opening special economic zones to foreign capital, the government triggered an unprecedented surge in wealth, transforming China into the world's factory within a few decades. By 1989, that economic growth had created an appetite for political reform. Over 1 million people gathered in Tiananmen Square to call for democracy and transparency. The state's answer was martial law. Troops and tanks were sent into the capital, clearing the square through a violent military crackdown. Tiananmen established the ultimate boundary of the new era. The party would provide prosperity, but it would not share power. This created the bargain that defines modern China. The state provides a path to wealth, and the citizens agree to never question the party's authority. The bargain proved effective. As the economy exploded, China was welcomed back into the international community, symbolized by the return of territories like Hong Kong. Today, that control is maintained through a sophisticated digital infrastructure. The Great Firewall and mass surveillance ensure that while the economy remains open, the flow of information is strictly managed. China effectively traded its political voice for economic dominance, resulting in a superpower that manages its population as tightly as its capital. China's rise is only one part of the story of the 20th century. To see how the United States built its own empire, click the video on screen now. And for more deep dives into history, subscribe to The Explainer.